Hey, by the way, hear that up there. Which one's which, right? Looking left to right. I don't know which way is left, which one's right. The Cookie Monster was something my older son put up years ago when he was in elementary school. And that's my youngest son, football player. By the way, um, my youngest son, I'm on my iPad today, um, by the way, uh, and I'm trying to get. It says it had to reorient itself, so just give me a second to figure this out. There, I think that'll work. Yeah, here we go. Maybe this will be a little bit better. Anyway, I'm in my kitchen today. I wanted to change it up. So day two. Day two. Um, I think I've listened to Tony Robbins a couple times in my past, but I really haven't taken a lot of time. I did write out kind of my trade plan. I've been working on it. It's in my journal, but I don't want to write it in my other journal until it's completed. So I'm working on in Sim. If you've noticed, the last um, video I put up was in Sim. I don't know how much I did today. It doesn't really matter what you do because it's Sim, right? But I finally came up to the conclusion that I'm going to trade the MNQ. And I have a series of one or a series of two. So a series of one contracts would be 9. A series of two would be 18 in the MNQ. So um, in other words, nine's $4.50 per per tick on 9 contracts, right? So each one of those is 50 cents. So that's $4.50 by 9. 18 is $9. So 450 times 2 is 9. But so as you watch the last video I put together, at the beginning I was just effing around, and I thought, and then I thought, well, you know what? Let's take it serious. So then I started trading a series of one or a series of two. So anyway, day two. He asked, this is about our relationships today. He mentioned, what is a belief? He said, a feeling of certainty about what something means. Now, our homework today, so we kind of get to what I'm trying to accomplish right now. Now, this is more for me than it is for you, but if you get value out of it, give me a thumbs up. I know people got value of yesterday. So this is soul searching, right? I I've had some really, really good years trading, some extremely good years of trading that allowed me to do a lot of cool things, buy cars, invest in real estate, invest in apartment complexes, put money to help my mother out, put a roof on the house, um, buy a home, live in a home for over 20 years. But the last couple of years have been a struggle, um, and a lot of it's my fault. I have to, but also some of it is health related too, because I put so much pressure on myself that was health related. So anyway, so what is my old identity? I guess kind of that's what I'm talking about right now. What is my old identity? It's this person that feels inferior, that feels that I'm not good enough, that everything I touch, when I used to think everything I touched would turn to gold or whatever, silver. Silver, I like silver better than gold, by the way. In fact, I always carry a silver coin with me always. So um, this one's, I invest in silver. I don't know if you guys are into silver or not, but I invest in silver. Now, this is one of my favorite ones that I have. This was from Silver Shield, by the way. I need to go back, and I don't even know if they're in business anymore. But what I'll do, usually what I did every year, and I need to do this year, is buy 2 Silver American Eagles. Um, I always buy them, and my goal is to fill up one of those green boxes, and then fill up another green box, if you know what I mean. Each one of those green boxes, I think, holds a 500 or 1,000. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it holds. Anyway, I think it holds a bunch, right? 500 maybe. Maybe you know what it does hold. I can't see the chat if you're chatting. I want to see if I can pull the chat up somewhere on here. See if I can get the chat to come up. Live chat. See if I can get it to come up here. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Chat viewing options. Let's try that top chat. Trying to get it to show up. I can't figure out how to get it to show up on the iPad, so I apologize for that. If someone's got a comment they want to type, maybe it'll come up in a comment field here somewhere. So anyway, so then it says, what is your new expanded identity that you want for 2024? And then how will this change your life? Now he's pumping his Unleashed 2024, which really looks like a great deal. It's like it has a value of $2,080 for $495, but it's I guess some people can go to it for free, but it's pretty much online thing, and he's has so many courses out there now. Everything he has. So $495, it sounds like a great deal, but I don't foresee me buying it. I wanted to take his 3-day journey. So I've made it through day 2 today, which that's kind of a good thing just in itself right now, to be able to say I made it through another day, because sometimes I get where I'm like, why am I even bothering? Let's see if I can pull out some key points he said today. He says the strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. So strong. He talked about strong times create great people, meaning that what he was talking about right there is that as you go through seasons of life, is what he was talking about. That point, that weak people create bad times, and then strong people come out of weak times, and then strong people create great times. So, but weak people go the other way. So right now he says, where is America at right now? We're in this descent right now, that there's a lot of weak times going on, creating. But he says it goes and flows, and I really never thought of it that way, But he also made a good comment about the political atmosphere out there. That if you concentrate on all this, let's just call it for what it is. It's a bunch of shit out there, right? Border security. There's a lot of things out there that really doesn't impact your life. At least where I live in Pennsylvania, I don't see the border. We don't have thousands upon thousands of people being dropped off in, say, New York City and Chicago and all these other things he was talking about. Economy. I mean, the economy basically is pretty shitty right now, right? Even job creation and whatnot. It's people taking on more jobs. He really didn't talk about that, but this is me talking right now. So the economy, the price of what $100 would buy you at Aldi, if you shop at Aldi like we do, now that same 100 cost about $160, $170 for the same products that you're putting in your and we're cutting. I don't know about you, but we've cut back on our spending to the point that, if we don't need to do this, is it that important right now? Me, I have some income coming in, but it wasn't like when I was working at the casino. When I was working at the casino, I had a lot more disposable income at that point. He also talked about being, this is a hard word for me to say, so I apologize. Vulnerable. Being vulnerable is power. So he says beliefs can create and also beliefs destroy. That's true. Then he talked about his mentor Jim Rohn a lot. That's probably why I respect Tony Robbins to start with, because Jim Rohn was a person that I had bought a lot of courses with in the past, and he said if it goes, we're having a connection problem here. It looks like. All right, we're back. So you set the thermometer 68 degrees. If it goes to 58 degrees, it's like, oh, this is cold. You start pushing. So it gets kind of like in a point that it gets you out of that comfort space. 68 degrees is where you're living in a zone. And then as you excel in life, and I've had this in my past where you're excelling, meaning that it goes up, the thermometer goes up, that hits 98 degrees at some point, which it has few times in my lifetime. It hits at 98 degrees, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm working way too hard, and then you go back to that comfort zone that you got at 68 degrees, right, where you're comfortable. So that was kind of interesting talking about that, and you have to expand that thermometer so that basically at 68 degrees where you're at, you're trying to get higher. And so the 98 degrees, next time you reach to that level where you bounce off of it, kind of like that's the way it is, right? Life is like this. It's a series of ups and downs. And he talked about power of incantations. And his biggest one was every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger, happier and happier, so forth and so on. Um, I enjoyed that part. I've kind of forgot about that. I've done that in the past. I mean, I have prayers that I'll say every day when I'm trying to get my mind focused. Um, we're all equals as souls. We're all equal as souls, but we are all not equal in the marketplace. That's something that Jim Rohn talked about, the difference between a billionaire and someone that's working at McDonald's. So the billionaire made 40 billion for people, and you can teach a monkey to, unfortunately, in the McDonald's realm. But that's supposed to be a job that you supplement your income if you have to, or your opening job. Build your brand, then what? So then he went into building your brand. Um, 5 steps to building your brand. We won't get into that. It says everybody likes a comeback story. The greatest story of humanity is the comeback. Life is extraordinary. Then he went on to sell his product, right? One of the stories that he shared with his one friend, Mike Click, I kind of remember this, but I forgot about it, was the story of the trash. He was a real estate agent, had 0 sales, and they had a trash strike. And that when they went to the strike, it turned into, what do I do? Well, how did the trash was stacking up? So he talked about that, how he spent 4,500, which is like equivalent to like 40,000 in today's dollars. He said, and he went to this area, and he had all of the trash in that area cleaned up and picked up, and he took no credit for it. People found out around about who did it. They thought that they came out of strike was like 38 40 days into the strike, and they thought that the strike was over. It ended up being that Mike Glick that they got a private trash company to come out and pick it up. And then he said that next year, with the moral of the story, I guess, is that the next year his friend Mike had made $1.1 million in sales and commissions, going from 0 to 1.1 million from doing something extraordinary to get something accomplished. So that was, I like that. I haven't, all this is like in the top of my head trying to formulate and whatnot. But, and then he talked about relationships. He got into relationships, the last part of it. He talked about sensation, emotion, and what you want. This was a key point that I got about, and I started up here because I'm guilty of this with my wife, and I've got to think this. I'm excited to try this out next time. He said the key to start something with a relationship, you want to improve your relationship. Man, my wife and I have been going on 20 years now, but my mother-in-law is not doing good at all right now, and she's she's losing her fight with cancer, and it's been a struggle for my wife, and she's just split at both ends right now, trying to take care of the family at home, but also trying to take care of her mother. And she's getting to the point where she's not progressing. So um, the um, um, the assisted living home that she's been in and out of the hospital this last year, she's not progressing. She has to move off. She's going to have to go to her house, go on hospice, go back to the hospital to go into a nursing home this next time around. So she's at that stage of her life that it is. So the point that Tony talked about right here, where he says, do the opposite of what you would normally do. So um, I'll tune out sometimes. I'll do. I'm not a very well. I guess I'm in some ways I'm emotional. In other ways I'm not. I'm out of reach. I'll grab my phone and look at my phone when my wife is talking to me. Some of our biggest fights have become because of these freaking things that have controlled our lives right now. She'll be talking to me, and I physically have to take my phone and put it down to listen to a conversation that she's having with me. Because I'll grab my phone in the middle of a conversation. I've watched myself, from the outside looking in, I watch myself pick up the phone, turn it on, and start scrolling through. Like, this is more important. That's my youngest son, by the way. Um, that was his senior picture, if you saw that. This was my oldest son when he was playing as a senior, and then that's my youngest son as a senior. They're both going to go to the same college, by the way. My brain is all over the place. It always has been like this. And now that I have ADD and it gets progress, um, it is what it is, right? Probably why you listen to me sometimes. You got no freaking idea where I'm going to go next. Neither do I. Anyway, so do the opposite of what you normally would do. So that was his advice. So maybe when she's talking to me, my thing is to tune her out. So in other words, tune her in. My wife, next time my wife asks, do you want, I did this one time this in 2024. She said, do you want to help me in the kitchen? And what's the normal thing that comes out of my mouth? Nah, I'm good. I'm sitting there in my chair over there in my room. So the opposite of what I would say. So I turn on the TV, tune her out. Um, and that's not the way it was in the beginning of a relationship, was it? It was like, what can I do for you? I'm opening the door for you. I'm doing all this stuff for my wife. And now it's like we get into that normalcy that it's like, we've been married all this time, and we'll have a good time up in the bedroom every so often, but not like it was when in the beginning. Uh, but so do the opposite. My wife says, you want to help me in the kitchen? I got to spring up from my chair. And the next time she says this, and get my ass over there to help her cook, that she'll probably, that in itself is going to surprise the shit out of her. I can't wait to see. So he talks about sensation, emotion, and what you want, not want. So is what he was talking about. So what is my old identity? Lazy, procrastinator, um, used to doing things my way, and certain that I'm right in my way, and all the bullshit that goes with that, right? The old identity, that old me. What is the new expanded identity for me? Be a better soulmate for my wife, right? Be a better dad. I mean, I think I've been a better dad than my dad. I actually deleted a comment that I saw from Kip. Hey, babe, I'll call you right back. So, I'm going to wrap this up in hopefully a minute right now. Um, hopefully, I deleted a comment from Kip because it pissed me off. And I apologize, Kip, but it did. Yes, I'm a better father than my dad was. My kids would attest to it. If they would come down here and say that, they would tell you. Now, granted, um, it is what it is right now, Can't have, I always talk about spinning plates when I talk to my wife and I talk to other people about this. You'll have your plates of spinning. All your plates, you got your financing plate, you got your health plate, you got your all these plates spin. Getting all the plates to spin at the same time, very few people can do that. Very few people can get all their plates spinning and keep control of each one of those plates. It just doesn't work that way. Keeping your lawn mowed, right? Keeping the weeds out of your yard, all that stuff that you associate with being a good person. For me, being a good person is being there when my kids need me, um, being there when my wife needs me, not being there when my mom needs me, being there when my brothers need me, um, doing the best I can. Now, I struggle at different areas of my life at one time. Health was bad at one time, finances was really good. So I had my finances where I was kicking ass, and my health was the one thing that just got decimated during that time. Then my health got better, and my finances went down. Now I want to keep the health. I need to get the finances back to where they used to be. So that's, if I had to say we're at my lowest point, the finances are kind of doing this. Hopefully I get to the point where my health and my finances get all the way up to where they need to be. Those are the two biggest things: the health, finances, relationships. All right, that's it. So the key point that I want to leave with you today that I learned, I thought the best point that I learned today from Tony Robbins: do the opposite of what you would normally do for your wife or your husband. So whatever that opposite is for you. So if it's sitting in the chair, she says, get in there and cook something. Now me cooking something, it's going to be toasted cheese or mac and cheese or something that I can put in the microwave or grab and do something. Yeah, making her dinner. PB&J, here it comes, right? I made her peanut butter jelly a couple years ago, and she thought it was the greatest thing, right? Women, a woman that truly loves you, right? I'm blessed. God bless you as well. God bless you and your family in the 2024, and let's try not to get in this political craziness that we're in right now. It's going to be crazy. We all know it's going to be crazy. This Trump's crazy, Biden's crazy. They're all crazy. Um, let's try to love each other and make it through 2024 and let the cards fall where they are. And hopefully, America will survive and will continue to get better and better. God bless. I'll see you next video I put together. Bye for now.